I'm Rebecca, 29 years old. 3 weeks ago, I woke up in a hospital room with a 6-inch scar on my back and one of my kidneys missing. I didn't have cancer. I wasn't in an accident. My parents drugged me and let a surgeon cut me open while I was unconscious. They stole my kidney and put it inside my brother without asking me. When I confronted them, my father looked me in the eyes and said, "Stop being dramatic. You're young. What do you need 2 kidneys for?" Before I continue, like and subscribe if you want to know what happened next. Comment where you're watching from. Because what I discovered after that hospital room destroyed my entire family. Let me take you back to where this started. My name is Rebecca Harris. I'm 29. I work as a registered nurse at Seattle Medical Center. I live alone in a 1-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill. I make $68 a year. I pay my own bills. I handle my own life. My brother Tyler is 22. He's never worked a real job. He lives in a house my parents bought him in Bellevue. He drives a Range Rover my parents lease for him. He has a trust fund. I don't. That's how it's always been in my family. Tyler gets everything. I get nothing. My parents are Robert and Linda Harris. My dad owns a chain of car dealerships across Washington state. My mom doesn't work. She spends her time planting charity glass and redecorating their house in Medina every 2 years. They're worth about $4 million. Tyler will inherit all of it. I won't get $1. I stopped asking why years ago. 6 months ago, Tyler called me. We barely talk. Maybe twice a year, birthdays and Christmas. "Becca, I need to tell you something," he said. "What?" "I'm sick. My kidneys are failing, both of them." I felt my stomach drop. Tyler and I weren't close, but he was still my brother. "What happened?" I asked. "The doctors say it's from years of heavy drinking. I need a transplant. They put me on the waiting list, but it's 5 to 7 years long. I don't have that kind of time." "I'm sorry, Tyler, that's awful. I need you to get tested, to see if you're a match." Silence. "Tyler, please Becca, you're my sister. You're O negative, you're a universal donor. Please just get tested." I said I'd think about it. 2 days later, my parents called, both of them on speakerphone. "Rebecca, we need to talk about your brother," my dad said. "I know, he told me." "Then you know he needs a kidney," my mom said. "And you know you're the only one who can help him." I said I'd think about it. "What's there to think about?" My dad's voice got sharp. "He's your brother. This is what family does." "Dad, donating a kidney is major surgery. I need time to." "Time." My mom cut me off. "Tyler doesn't have time. He could die, Rebecca. Do you understand that? Your brother could die." "I understand, but nothing. You get tested, you donate. End of discussion." They hung up. I sat there staring at my phone, feeling the same way I'd felt my entire life. Like I didn't matter. Like my body wasn't mine. Like I existed to serve Tyler. I didn't call them back. A week later, I drove to my parents' house for what they called a family meeting. Their house is a 6,000-square-foot mansion on Lake Washington. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Marble floors. A 3-car garage with a Tesla, a Mercedes and a Porsche. I parked my 2015 Honda Civic next to the Porsche and walked inside. Tyler was sitting on the couch in the living room. He looked thin, pale, sicker than I'd expected. My mom was standing by the fireplace. My dad was pouring himself scotch. "Sit down, Rebecca," my dad said. I sat. "We need to discuss the transplant," my mom said. "Tyler's doctors say he has maybe 6 months without a kidney. The waiting list is too long. You're his only option." "I'm not his only option. There are other donors. Living donor programs. Those take time we don't have," my dad interrupted. "You're a match, your family. This shouldn't even be a question." "It is a question. It's my body." My dad's face turned red. "Your body? You wouldn't even have a body if it wasn't for us. We raised you. We fed you. We paid for your education." "I paid for my own education. I have 40,000 in student loans." "That's your choice. We offered to help, and you refused." "That was a lie. They never offered." But I didn't argue. "Rebecca, please," Tyler said. His voice was weak. "I'm begging you. I don't want to die." I looked at him, my brother, the golden child, the one who got everything while I got nothing. And I felt something break inside me. "I need time to think about it," I said. My dad slammed his glass down on the table. "There's nothing to think about. You're doing this." "No, I'm not." The room went silent. "Excuse me?" My mom's voice was ice. I said no, I'm not donating my kidney. My dad stood up. He walked over to me. He looked down at me like I was garbage. "You're selfish," he said. "You're a selfish, ungrateful daughter." And if you don't do this, you're dead to us. Do you understand? Dead. I stood up. My hands were shaking. I've been dead to you my whole life, I said. This just makes it official. I walked out. I drove home crying so hard I had to pull over twice. But I meant what I said. I wasn't donating my kidney. Not like this. Not because they demanded it. Not because they made me feel like I owed them my body. I blocked their numbers. I blocked Tyler's number. I went back to work. I went back to my life. I thought it was over. I was wrong. 2 weeks later my mom called me from a different number. Rebecca, sweetheart, please don't hang up. I should have hung up. I didn't. What do you want? I want to apologize. Your father and I were too harsh. We were scared. We loved Tyler. And we weren't thinking clearly. I'm sorry. I didn't say anything. I want to make things right, she continued. I want us to be a family again. Can we have dinner? Just you and me. No pressure. No talk about kidneys. Just mother and daughter. Something in her voice sounded genuine. Or maybe I just wanted it to be genuine. Okay, I said. Wonderful. How about Friday? I'll pick you up at 6. I'll meet you there. No. Let me pick you up. Please, I want to do this right. I agreed. Friday came. My mom picked me up in her Mercedes. She was dressed nicely. She smelled like her usual perfume. Chanel no. Faint. You look beautiful, she said. Thanks. We drove to a restaurant in Bellevue, a nice place, white tablecloths, candlelight. We sat down. We ordered. We talked. About work. About her charity gala. About nothing important. Then she ordered us wine, a nice Chardonnay. To new beginnings, she said, raising her glass. I raised mine. We clinked. We drank. The wine tasted a little bitter. I thought maybe it was just a dry vintage. We kept talking. The food came. I ate. I drank more wine. And then the room started to tilt. Mom, I don't feel good. What's wrong, honey? I feel dizzy. Really dizzy. Oh no. Do you need to use the restroom? I stood up. My legs felt like jelly. The room was spinning. I think I need to go home. Of course. Let me help you to the car. She put her arm around me. She walked me outside. The last thing I remember is getting into the Mercedes, then everything went black. I woke up in a hospital bed. The first thing I felt was pain. A deep, burning pain in my lower back. I tried to sit up. I couldn't. My body felt heavy. Wrong. A nurse walked in. A woman I didn't recognize. Oh good, you're awake, she said. How are you feeling? What happened? My voice was hoarse. You had surgery. Everything went well. The doctor will be in shortly to explain everything. Surgery. What surgery? She didn't answer. She just smiled and left. I reached around to my back. I felt bandages. Thick bandages, tape, gauze. My hand started shaking. The door opened again. A man in a white coat walked in. He looked like he was in his 60s. Gray hair. Expensive watch. Miss Harris, I'm Dr. Kenneth Morrison. I performed your surgery. What surgery? I didn't consent to any surgery. He pulled out a clipboard. According to our records, your mother signed consent on your behalf. You were listed as unable to make medical decisions due to a psychological condition. My heart stopped. What psychological condition? It says here you have a history of mental instability. Your parents were granted medical guardianship. That's a lie. I'm a registered nurse. I'm perfectly stable. I don't have a guardian. I'm 29 years old. Dr. Morrison's face changed. The confidence disappeared. I was told. What did you do to me? He swallowed hard. We performed a left nephrectomy. We removed your left kidney. The room spun. You took my kidney? Your mother signed. Where is it? Where's my kidney? He didn't answer. Where is my kidney? It was transplanted into your brother. He's 2 floors down. The surgery was successful. He's recovering well. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I couldn't process what he was saying. They cut me open. They took my kidney. They put it in Tyler. Without asking me, without my consent. While I was drugged and unconscious. Get out, I whispered. Miss Harris. Get out. He left. I lay there staring at the ceiling. My body felt violated, gutted. Like I wasn't a person. Like I was just spare parts for my brother. And then I got angry. I pressed the call button. A different nurse came in. I need my phone, I said. And I need to speak to hospital administration. Now. 2 hours later, a detective walked into my room. Her name was Detective Lisa Chen. She was with the Seattle Police Department. She sat down in the chair next to my bed. Miss Harris, I need to ask you some questions. Okay. Did you consent to the surgery performed on you 3 days ago? No. I was drugged. My mother put something in my wine. When I woke up, I was here. Missing a kidney. Detective Chin wrote something down. And you're certain you didn't sign any consent forms? I'm certain. I'm a registered nurse. I would never consent to this. I told my family 2 weeks ago I wasn't donating. They did this without my permission. Do you know where your kidney is now? In my brother, Tyler Harris. He's 2 floors down. She nodded. We're going to need to investigate this. I need you to walk me through everything, from the beginning. So I did. I told her about Tyler's diagnosis, about my parents demanding I donate, about me saying no, about the dinner with my mom, about the wine, about waking up here. Detective Chen took notes on everything. This is a serious crime, she said. If what you're saying is true, this is assault, battery, medical fraud. Your parents could face federal charges. It's true. I believe you. I'm going to start an investigation immediately. In the meantime, don't speak to your parents. Don't speak to anyone in your family. If they contact you, let me know. She handed me her card and left. I sat there holding the card, staring at her name. This was real. This was happening. My parents had stolen my kidney. If you're still with me, comment below. Let me know you're here, because what happened next gets even worse. 3 hours later, my parents walked into my hospital room. My mom was crying. My dad looked furious. Rebecca, sweetheart, how are you feeling? My mom asked. Get out. Honey, I know you're upset. Get out of my room, now. My dad stepped forward. You need to calm down. You're being hysterical. Hysterical. You drugged me. You cut me open. You stole my kidney. We saved your brother's life, my dad said. You should be grateful you were able to help. I stared at him. Grateful. You committed a crime, I said. The police are investigating. You're going to prison. My mom's face went white. The police? Rebecca, you called the police? You're damn right I did. My dad's face turned purple. You ungrateful little bitch, after everything we've done for you. What have you done for me? Name one thing. We raised you. We gave you a home. You gave Tyler a home. You gave Tyler a car. You gave Tyler a trust fund. You gave me nothing, and now you stole part of my body. My mom started sobbing. We had no choice. Tyler was dying. You had a choice. You could have respected my decision. You could have found another donor. You could have done literally anything except drug me and cut me open. You're young, my dad said. His voice was cold now. You don't need 2 kidneys. Tyler needed one to live. We made a decision as parents. I'm not a child. I'm 29. You had no right. We had every right. You're our daughter. You owe us. I don't owe you anything. My dad stepped closer. If you go forward with this police nonsense, you'll regret it. We'll fight this. We'll make sure everyone knows you refused to save your own brother. We'll destroy you. Get out of my room, now. Or I'll call security. He stared at me for a long moment. Then he grabbed my mom's arm. Come on, Linda. She's made her choice. They left. I sat there shaking. Not from fear. From rage. They thought they could threaten me. They thought I'd back down. They were wrong. The investigation moved fast. Detective Chen got a warrant for the hospital records. She found the consent form my mother had signed. She found the psychological evaluation that claimed I was mentally unstable. It was fake. Written by a psychiatrist who didn't exist. She interviewed Dr. Morrison. He admitted he'd been paid $75,000 by my father to perform the surgery without proper consent verification. He said my father told him I was incompetent and couldn't make my own medical decisions. She pulled my mother's phone records. She found texts between my mom and dad from the night of the dinner. One text from my dad, "Did you give her the pills?" My mom's response, "Yes. She drank the whole glass. She's getting drowsy." My dad, "Good. Take her to Riverside Medical. Morrison is waiting." Riverside Medical was a private surgical center in Bellevue. Small, expensive, the kind of place where rich people go for plastic surgery and don't want their names in public hospital records. It was also the kind of place where a surgeon could perform an illegal organ transplant if he was paid enough. Detective Chen arrested my parents 2 weeks after my surgery. I wasn't there for the arrest, but she told me about it later. They were at home, having breakfast. My mom was reading a magazine. My dad was on his phone. Detective Chen knocked on the door with 4 officers. My dad opened it. "Can I help you?" "Robert Harris and Linda Harris, you're under arrest for assault, battery, conspiracy to commit medical fraud and organ trafficking." My mom screamed. My dad tried to argue. "This is ridiculous. We saved our son's life. We didn't do anything wrong. You drugged your daughter and removed her kidney without consent. That's a federal crime. They put my parents in handcuffs. They walked them out of their mansion. They put them in separate police cars. The neighbors watched. I watched the news that night. There were cameras outside my parents' house. Reporters talking about the wealthy couple arrested for stealing their daughter's kidney. I should have felt satisfied, vindicated. Instead, I just felt empty. Tyler called me from the hospital. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. Becca, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know what they were planning. They told me you agreed. They said you changed your mind and wanted to help. I'm so sorry. Please call me back. I deleted the voicemail. Whether he knew or not didn't matter. He had my kidney. He was alive because they violated me. I couldn't forgive that. What would you do in this situation? Would you forgive your brother? Comment 1 if yes, 2 if no. The trial started 4 months later. My parents hired the best defense attorneys in Seattle. A firm called Whitman and Associates. They cost $50,000 just for the retainer. The trial lasted 3 weeks. I had to testify. I had to sit on the witness stand and tell a room full of strangers how my mother drugged me and my father paid a doctor to cut me open. The prosecutor was a woman named Sandra Vasquez. She was good. She was ruthless. She started with me. Miss Harris, can you tell the court what happened on the evening of October 14th, 2004? I told them everything. The dinner, the wine, the dizziness, waking up in the hospital. And did you consent to the surgery? No. I explicitly told my parents I would not donate my kidney. And yet the surgery happened anyway. Yes. Who do you believe is responsible for that? My parents. And Dr. Morrison. She showed the jury the consent form. My mother's signature was on it. Not mine. She showed them the fake psychological evaluation. The one that said I was mentally unstable. She showed them the text messages between my parents. Did you give her the pills? Yes. She drank the whole glass. The courtroom was silent. Then she called Dr. Morrison. He looked terrible. He'd already lost his medical license. He was facing his own criminal charges. Dr. Morrison, did you perform surgery on Rebecca Harris on October 14th, 2004? Yes. Did you verify her consent? He hesitated. I was told she couldn't consent due to a psychological condition. Who told you that? Her father, Robert Harris. And did you independently verify this claim? No, why not? Because Robert Harris paid me $75,000 to perform the surgery. He said time was critical. I trusted him. You trusted a man who paid you $75,000 to cut open his daughter without proper consent. Dr. Morrison didn't answer. The defense tried to argue that my parents were acting in good faith, that they believed they were saving Tyler's life, that they thought I would come around eventually. The jury didn't buy it. After 3 weeks, they came back with a verdict. Guilty on all counts. My mother collapsed in her chair, crying. My father just stared straight ahead, blank. The judge sentenced them 2 weeks later. My father got 12 years in federal prison. My mother got 8 years. Dr. Morrison got 10 years and a permanent revocation of his medical license. I sat in the courtroom and watched the bailiffs take my parents away in handcuffs. My mom looked at me as they led her out. She was crying, mouthing the words, "I'm sorry." I didn't say anything, I just watched her disappear through the door. That was 6 months ago. Now I'm sitting in my apartment. It's a new apartment. 2 bedrooms. In a better neighborhood. I used the money from the lawsuit I filed against my parents and Dr. Morrison. I won $3 million in damages, enough to pay off my student loans, enough to buy a condo, enough to never worry about money again. But the money doesn't fix what they did, it doesn't give me back my kidney, it doesn't erase the violation. I still have the scar on my back, 6 inches long, a permanent reminder. I see a therapist twice a week. She helps me process the trauma, the anger, the betrayal. Some days are better than others. Tyler tried to contact me a few times. Letters, emails. I never responded. He's alive because of my kidney. The kidney he didn't ask for. The kidney my parents stole. I don't hate him. But I can't forgive him either. He's getting divorced. His wife left him after the trial. She said she couldn't be married to someone whose family did what ours did. My parents lost everything. Their house was seized to pay legal fees. Their cars were sold. Their country club membership was revoked. They're in federal prison now. Separate facilities. My mom is in a minimum security prison in Oregon. My dad is in a medium security facility in California. They'll be there for years. Good. I started a nonprofit 6 months ago. It's called Consent Matters. We advocate for organ donation reform. We push for stricter consent verification. We help victims of medical fraud. I've spoken at 3 conferences so far. I've been interviewed by journalists. I've met other people whose families violated them in similar ways. There are more of us than you'd think. 2 months ago I met someone. His name is Daniel. He's a social worker. He's kind. He's patient. He doesn't push me to talk about my family. We went on our first date last week. Dinner. Nothing fancy. We talked for 3 hours. At the end of the night he asked if he could see me again. I said yes. Maybe I'm healing. Maybe I'm moving forward. Maybe I'm building a life that isn't defined by what my parents did to me. Or maybe I'm just surviving. One day at a time. Either way, I'm here. I'm alive. I'm free. And then not. 2 years later, I'm running a nonprofit that's helped change organ donation laws in 3 states. I'm engaged to someone who actually loves me for who I am, not what I can give him. I've built a life I'm proud of. My parents? They're in prison. Tyler? He's alone, no wife, no friends. Just my kidney keeping him alive and the guilt eating him from the inside. I learned something through all of this. Your body's yours. No one has the right to it. Not your parents. Not your family. Not anyone. And if someone violates that, you fight back. You don't stay silent. You don't protect people who hurt you just because they're family. Blood doesn't give anyone ownership over your body. Ever. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more stories like this. And remember, you don't owe anyone anything. Not your body. Not your forgiveness. Not your silence. You owe yourself the truth. And the strength to fight for it.